President Vladimir Putin is set to kick off a two-day visit to India today, marking his first official trip to the nation since the war in Ukraine began in February 2022. He is scheduled to arrive in Delhi on 4 December evening for the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. During this state visit, he will hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and discuss a range of regional and global issues of mutual interest. This bilateral meeting is crucial as several agreements are expected to be signed, which will strengthen the economic partnership between the two nations. Specific sectors of interest are trade, economy, healthcare, academia, culture and media. This visit comes in the backdrop of a sharp deterioration in India's relations with the US. Following arrival in Delhi, Putin will attend a private dinner hosted by PM Modi at his official residence on Lok Kalyan Marg. Putin's main engagements are scheduled for tomorrow. I have my guest joining me on the broadcast, and I want to begin with Alexei Zakharov. He's a fellow at Observer Research Foundation, New Delhi. Mr. Zakharov, welcome to the broadcast, and I want to begin by asking you now, does Russia see India as a partner in the Ukraine peace efforts?
Good afternoon. Yeah, I mean, the relationship with India is long-standing, so I think that there is enough trust to discuss such issues as the war in Ukraine. And I think, as you mentioned, the initial part of the President Putin's agenda will be informal talks with Prime Minister Modi. So I think that the war in Ukraine will be among topics that will be raised at these informal talks. And here I think that India's position has been quite consistent, and President Putin has been aware of India's approach, that this is not an era of war, and that it's necessary to end the hostilities as soon as possible. But I think he will be trying to also outline and lay out his own vision for the end game, to explain his maximalist demands to end the conflict and to strike a comprehensive deal that will take into account his vision for the future of European security architecture. That will be an important part of his agenda with Prime Minister Modi. And I think that in this regard, India and Prime Minister Modi can also express his own vision on how this conflict should be ended.
Mrs. Zakharov, another very pertinent point here is about the defense deal announcement between India and Russia. Do you see that happening?
Well, my personal vision that the defense cooperation will be somewhat kept low profile. I mean, we can see that there is a meeting between defense ministers that is scheduled for today. That will be part of Intergovernmental Commission on Military and Military Technical Cooperation. So probably the deals that are there in the pipeline and that are discussed at length in the media by military experts, the deals such as on the additional batch of S-400s, on the Su-57 fighter jets, I think this will be raised during the intergovernmental talks. At the same time, to my mind, these deals are in its initial stages, so it will require more time to coordinate different technical aspects of these deals related to the cost, to the formal procurement procedures, to the, again, technical modalities of these particular military platforms. So it seems that it will take more time to come up with concrete deals or contracts, so it may not be the immediate deliverable of this particular summit.
And now, Mrs. Zakharov, now can Russia help Indian exporters reduce the strain caused by Trump tariffs? What do you think?
I think that trade issues will also dominate the agenda. It's also part of the talks between financial ministers. It will be part of the delegation level talks. Russia has come up with some proposals on how to facilitate Indian exports, how to make bilateral trade more even, and increase the share of Indian exports in the bilateral trade, which has been very lopsided over the past several years. And definitely there are some areas of imports in which Russia is interested. I think that Russia is ready to receive more Indian goods in the areas like technical products, electronics, some machinery production, Probably it can also include agricultural products and pharmaceuticals, of course. So in some areas, I think there can be, and there is a potential for more Indian exports. It's just necessary to adjust the regulations on the Russian side and also to create sufficient incentives for Indian businesses to explore the Russian market.
All right. Now, Mr. Zakharov, India has been under pressure from the US, of course, to cut back on its imports of Russian oil. How do you see that progressing?
Well, as far as we've seen in the media reports, I think that Indian companies have started to significantly reduce their imports of Russian oil. That probably the statistics will come up later this month, and we will see that there has been a decline in oil imports from Russia, and that India has started to use other oil sources for its imports. At the same time, I think that the negotiations are undergoing between Moscow and New Delhi on the recalibration of supply chains. I think that there are still some companies in Russia which are not sanctioned, which are not there in the blacklists, and it's possible to reorganize the supply chains in a way that the shipments will be sanctions proof. And there are also plenty of different workaround mechanisms that Russia and India can explore. So it's definitely will be part of agenda on how to proceed with the oil cooperation. I think it will be important part of discussions.
All right, Mr. Zakharov, I really appreciate your joining me on the broadcast. Thank you so much. And now I do have, of course, Andrea Lucidi, Italian war reporter, Lugansk, joining me on the broadcast. Andrea, I just want to begin by asking you, this is a visit that, I mean, everybody's eyes are on it. I want to really begin by asking you, how are Russians reacting to Putin's visit to India?
Well, of course, this is a very crucial moment for the Russian Federation, for the policy of Russia, because India is a key partner of the Russian Federation, is a very important member of the multipolar world, the new geopolitical construction that the Russian Federation and the BRICS are trying to build together. And the economical relationship between Russia and India are very crucial for the oil industry here and for the energy sector around the BRICS partners. So there are a lot of attention from the journalism world about the results of this visit of Vladimir Putin in India.
All right, now, Mr. Lucidi, of course, I do want to also ask you that what is the kind of impression that is there in Russia for India? How do Russians view India?
Well, there are a lot of, for example, cultural cooperation. I personally saw a lot of students, of Indian students in Russia, especially students of STEAM fields, so engineering, mathematics, and medical science. I personally meet a lot of Indian students in Orenburg city, and also India is a popular country among Russians for holidays, for the cultural and tradition field, and for the history. A lot of Russians love to make holidays and visit India, especially in this moment, because India, for the Russians, is a country that always welcomes them without any kind of discrimination, without any kind of, not acceptable people for Russia. And this is very important now. So India is viewed as a key partner, as a very important country in the BRICS and in the multipolar world for every sectors: politics, industry, economical, and cultural.
All right. Now, Mr. Lucidi, another point, of course, is a very pertinent point that we're all looking at, is the defense partnership between Russia and India. How do you see that moving forward?
Well, not some weeks ago, Russia and India subscribed a partnership for the defense field, and yeah, it's this is a big how can I say? It's a big symptom of the deep relationship between the two countries. And also for India, this means that the Russian Federation is looking with interest in the progressive that the military industry of India have made in these decades, in the last 10 years. It's also important because that means that a new geopolitical institution, also in the defense sector, can be built in the East, with India, maybe China, because also India and China are normalizing the relationship, and this is very, very important. And yeah, for improve the security area of the Southeast Asia. This is very, very important. And also, now Russia have a big experience in the battlefield, a concrete experience, not only with what the West called out area missions, but also in a symmetrical war against another army. And this is crucial for correct military development for the future, because now also Russia can share this experience with the key partners and allies like India.
And Mr. Lucidi, we're of course sharing some really nice pictures of PM Modi and President Putin, of course, together. And there's a very nice camaraderie, a nice kind of a friendship that they're sharing. And of course, their relationship has become stronger. What would you like to say on that?
Well, I will say that Vladimir Putin always said that he has a personal friendship with the Prime Minister Modi, and that this friendship was helping Russia and India for develop more deep relation each other, and such availability of Prime Minister Modi and Putin for speak openly without any problems, without any precondition. It's crucial also for help the peace. I think personally that as a journalist that it's based in a war zone, that India can have a very big role for the construction of peace in the future.
Mr. Lucidi, I really appreciate your taking out the time for NewsX. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast.